Thank you, and thank you for having me at this event. I'm happy that AARP actually in Ward 8 put this together. I am a resident of Ward 8, and the biggest issue that made me run was actually Social Security, because based on the fact that government takes advantage of the two most important people in our life, which are our children and then the elderly, the people regardless of where we're at, and we have to become more humane as a government. I'm a mechanic by trade. I worked at Tisha BMW, Volvo, Washington, Metropolitan Mercedes-Benz. I'm an independent sales rep in the furniture industry now. With Road Beatty one, again, was 3 years ago I get my Social Security statement. 65, I get X amount of dollars, but 80% of my health care. But the next following year, they send me the statement. Says I have to work till 70 to get 80% of my health care. 66, they give me 50%. At 63, 62, I'll get 30%. So again, this is a very weird topic to me because I just feel it's wrong. We have to work for Social Security. And always, if we look at it realistically, we take from the elderly. We had that prescription bill of rights for the elderly. They come up with an amount of about $3,900, and then they'll pay 100%, the government says. But it was a closed-door session. I feel what ended up happening in this session was they hired a consultant to do a study. The study was done. Average American spends $2,500 out of their pocket on prescriptions. The government will pay 4%. And it's always that we give less to working class and take more and give everything to corporate America. It has to change. The working class supports the world. And they have to look at us as the solution, not the problem, I feel, because it's about us, not them. And I don't mind building things for people and other things that we're in government, but if we do, we should be able to pay higher dividends to our Social Security recipients, 100% of their health care. We man the fact that we work till 70, and on top of it, fund education better than we do. You got kids with a 3.7 or 4.0 grade point average. Those kids should get a free ride on the taxpayer at a state or city university. Those young minds may create that new alternative energy we're looking for, or develop that cure to that disease. And again, it has to change. We are the solution, and government has to start looking at it as us at that. And again, we always give credits to the working class and cash to corporate America. You know, I mean, we had the cash to conquer thing. If you bought a car under the Maryland Senator's bill, you would have been able to write off your interest. But what they didn't say is you had to earn $250,000 or more to do so. How many people would buy a car that would make $250,000 or more to qualify for that tax write-off? Very little, again, because they make it so we can't collect the money. So we have to change government fundamentally. And I tell you, the elderly programs are one of the most things that I will work on the strongest for, based on the fact that I don't feel I should have to work till 70 to collect Social Security. How old was Chuck Brown when he died? 75. And he had money. Herman Hensley from the Jeffersons, 74. These are people that have the money and the capability and the health care that they needed to live a life. Stanford's done a study. The average American lives till 78 years old. So they want us to live until 8 years of broke to get our money. So again, look, I'm a mechanic by trade, and I'm doing my best to make change. I hope people vote for me. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael Brown, and I'm your United States Senator. Proud to be your United States Senator. I'm running for re-election. Let me start by thanking Phil Pinnell and Denise and other people associated with our AARP. I'm a member. I have been a member for too many years now. I'm feeling it more every year. But the reason I'm running for re-election is that I want to continue the important work that I started 6 years ago. When I took this job, I understood that the people of the District of Columbia didn't have the same rights that the rest of America had. But what I didn't understand was how much this affected all of us, especially elderly and young people, because we lose more than $2 billion a year in tax revenue that we should get by not being able to tax people that live in Maryland and Virginia and elsewhere and work in the District of Columbia. Now, we're the only jurisdiction in the country that is subjected to this type of colonial rule. 70% of the people that have jobs in this city do not live in this city, which means that 30% of us support all the activities that go on in the District of Columbia. There are a lot of misconceptions out there that the federal government gives us lots of money. Not true. That we're taken care of. We're not. We lose more than a third of our budget every year by not being able to tax, by not being able to have what is traditionally called a commuter tax. So Do you know that we have the highest incidence of new AIDS cases? Even though we passed a law more than 10 years ago for needle exchange, we've never been able to properly initiate that law because for 10 years, Congress prohibited us even doing anything with our own money for needle exchange. And since then, they put so many restrictions on needle exchange that we've had a hard time figuring out a way to implement it. We also have the highest incidence of breast cancer. We also have one of the highest incidence of type 2 diabetes. None of this is a coincidence. All of it gets back to our colonial status and the fact that the federal government controls everything in the District of Columbia. When I started this job, there was an initiative, legislation on Capitol Hill to give us a single vote where we traded Utah a vote. Utah would have gotten a new vote, the District of Columbia would have finally had a vote for Eleanor Holmes Norton. That failed. Every initiative that we put out there has failed. There's now talk about putting forth a resolution to the voters to give us budget autonomy. Think about this. We're talking about taking a vote to see if it's okay to go to Congress to see if we can spend our own money. This is ridiculous. Who are we, the national teenager? We need to have control over our budget. We need to have control over our legal system. We need to have control over our money, and that means statehood. So I hope that you'll re-elect me. President Obama said in 2008 that even without a vote, I was a strong advocate for the rights of DC citizens, and I'd like to continue to be your advocate. Thank you so much for having me today.
Good afternoon. It's great to be with you here this afternoon. My name is Mary Brooks Beatty, and I'm running for the at-large seat. I've served as an ANC commissioner in Ward 6, where I live, for about 6 years. And during that time, the reason I ran as an ANC commissioner, I really concentrated on things like crime and also redevelopment of H Street. And the reason I ran in the first place was because I'm not the type of person who sits around and complains about what's going on around them. I'm the type of person that jumps in and gets involved. And that's what I did in the ANC. We basically created an urban miracle on H Street. I don't know if any of you have been there like 20 years ago and have seen it now. But that was through a lot of work on that ANC that I led on to create jobs, to be able also to just improve the entire neighborhood for the residents within that area. And, you know, we basically also had to reduce crime before we could even get businesses to come on to the street. So that was a dedicated effort to doing that. I want to bring that same kind of change to the entire city at large. And, you know, I am the type of person, again, who sees a problem and wants to fix it. That's why I'm running for this seat at large right now. I do think we have a lot of problems in the city. I think, again, even though pay-to-play culture is something that we need to overhaul this whole process, you know, contracting, finance reform, so that we can really concentrate on what's important, and that is improving our quality of life in the city. So I think those are some of the things that we have to do in order to, you know, stop all the drama with all of what's going on in the council, and basically concentrate on the needs of the people, needs of the residents. That's what I did as an ANC commissioner. That's what I want to do also as an at-large council member, to empower the community, to empower people, because I think that's really what we're missing right now. We really don't have a system where, even though people get to make their input, they're not being listened to, and I think they really are not empowered at this point by their city. So those are some of the key things that I want to concentrate on. I've had a lot of leadership experience. I was president of Women in Government, which is a national organization. I've worked in government relations all of my life, and so I really do understand how to get things done in the legislative process, and want to use that for the benefit of the city that I love.
Good afternoon. My name is A.J. Cooper, and I was born and raised in Washington, D.C. went on to the University of Maryland, graduated with Marine History. And then I joined the United States Marine Corps, graduated from Officer Candidate School for the Marine Corps. After that, I came home and started working for a nonprofit called DC Campaign for Preventing Teen Pregnancy. And that nonprofit is all about making sure that young people have the best chance possible at success. And the reason I'm running is simple, and it won't take me 3 minutes to explain. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. We deserve better in this city, and we've known that we deserve better for a long time. And this election is our chance to get it. I was speaking to some seniors at the Beatty over in Northeast yesterday, and talking to them about some of the things that I'm going to bring, transportation, increased access to health care, for housing vouchers, instead of having to go all the way downtown to renew your housing voucher, how about they send somebody to you? And one of the people said, well, where are we going to get the money for? Well, the city government wastes $1 billion a year, and that's money that should be going to you, to your services. And why? Because you earned it. You earned it. You're the tax base of the city. You raised all of these children, these now grown folks that are all over this city. And I think that the way a city treats its senior citizens says a lot about the success or failure of the city. And I think that this city's failing right now when it comes to senior citizens. You deserve the highest level of service in the world, because this is Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States of America. Why is it in D.C. that we have seniors that have bed bugs in their places? Why is it in Washington, D.C., when a senior wants to go get groceries, they have to pay somebody to go get groceries? It shouldn't be like that. You deserve the best. A vote for Cooper will guarantee that you get that, because I'm not here to play games with these folks at the city council. I'm not here to, make promises that I can't keep, or tell you how hard and difficult it's going to be for me to get you the services that you know that you deserve. I'm here to let you know that I'm going to fight with you. I got a lot of heart, and I got a lot of passion, and I'm going to make sure that the seniors of this city get the services that they deserve. Period. Thank you very much.